no is a complete sentence. You
Yeah.
can certainly just say no, or that's
Or
not my expertise, refer someone else. It isn't so much that you have to stay in a lane. It's that when you're working on your messaging, you have to know who the ideal audience is for that message, right? Our client base and our referral partners is quite broad when you're looking at demographics, but we can't craft one message that's going to speak to all of them. No one's going to feel like we're talking to them. So we have to think, okay, for this particular post or blog or ad or promo piece, whatever it is, who's our ideal recipient of that message? And what's that message to attract that? That's where the niche is. It isn't that we necessarily have to niche the whole business. It's the messaging has to be niche.
You're listening to Brainwork Framework, a business and marketing podcast brought to you by focus-biz.com.
Welcome back to another episode of Brainwork Framework. With us today is Sharyn and Hank Yuloff with Yuloff Creative. They are small business coaches with an expertise in marketing, sales, public speaking, and human resources. Basically, the 4 areas where most business owners say that we struggle. Sharyn and Hank, so great to have you on. How you guys doing today?
great. Wow. Y'all should have heard the first hour of this. We were going and we've just been talking and getting to know each other. The first hour was amazing, Chris. I'm looking forward to the second hour.
This happens more often than people think. We don't get in and press the record button right away. We just kind of warm up. Suddenly the hours pass. We should probably get to recording a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. We do a podcast. And it's supposed to be 7 minutes, 21 seconds because our anniversary is July 21st. So most of ours are right in that realm. We were on, what was it?
The 30-minute hour.
Yeah, the 30-minute hour podcast. And at about the hour 45 mark, I was like, hey guys, we've been going a while. They was, yeah, it's our show. So we had them on our podcast and I made sure we went exactly the same.
Nice. I tell you, when you just get these conversations going, it just keeps going. Time doesn't matter anymore. You just kind of get lost into it. But that's what I love about these podcast sessions. Again, the conversation and then the audience now feels that energy too. So we'd love to both welcome you on, but tell us more about your journey. What were you guys doing before? How long have you been doing what you're doing now?
All right. So 30 Thanksgivings ago, my family was one of those that went around the table and what are you thankful for? And it got to me. And 2 weeks before that, I was a regional manager for a national company and the national sales manager had quit, which, okay, job's going to be a little harder. Yeah. But the owner of the company installed his son as the national sales manager. His son, who had 2 months with the company, had just graduated college and had never been a salesperson.
Oh boy.
Oh, so perfect quality, very experienced.
Perfect. So that had just happened. Now, rather than bring that all to the table, I said, great, marriage, Sharyn, me, great, love it. And I'm trying to pass it on to my sister. And my mom said, well, wait a minute, Henry, tell me about work. So I got to share that. And she said, what would it take for you to start your own company? Because it was a promotional product company, putting logos on stuff. What would it take for you to start your own? And I very needed a fax machine because the fax I have belongs to the company. For those of you that are younger, faxes are how we used to send paper from one place to another.
You do.
It was not.
We don't want to go back.
No, we don't.
They're all digital now, but they still exist. It's at least the most secure form of communication, still used in medical practices. So it's not that outdated.
Oh, in the promo industry, I'll come back to the story, I promise. In the promo industry, I'll talk to some different people at factories that manufacture this stuff. But they do still get faxed orders every day. And they look at me like, your generation hasn't died yet. So we still have a fax machine and they handwrite their purchase orders and they handwrite their artwork and expect us to do. Anyway, I need a new fax machine. And she looked at my dad and said, write him a check. 2 weeks later, I was gone, started my own company. And oddly enough, out of the 14 regional managers within a few months, we had all quit, started our own very friendly competition because we were all around the country.
No internet in those days, right?
So we were all incredibly friendly competitors. Hey, I know you just started. How did you do that? And so that started. Then about 15 years ago, I always knew there was the thing that sets you apart. We all need that thing. I'm selling you your stuff, but you also get a marketing brain. So I would help clients with marketing and You're going to be going to a trade show. Let's talk about how to use this stuff the right way. And I would do trainings for their employees at the trade show, do this. And yeah, it was leveraging into coaching at a client that needed HR help. So I dragged Sharyn kicking and screaming from the entertainment business to see how it would work with her handling that and the office stuff. And she never went back.
Here we are.
Yeah. And since then, we used to have very specific lanes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch HR. I still try not to. 'Cause my default HR is fire them and find somebody else.
Which is fine, but just document first.
I had to learn that part. But now, whether it's marketing or sales or systems, we both work with our clients. I'm probably more of messaging. Sharyn is much more of the systems. If somebody says, have you heard of this tool?
Probably.
Sharyn invests way more time learning all the different stuff. Oh yeah, I know those 72 different CRMs. Sure. Let's discuss them. And I just look at her in awe.
But
You've heard of that?
heard of it. I don't use it. I can give you the basics.
But it's kind of the natural progression. Starting off with promo materials, you were leaving a company you weren't fully satisfied with, starting your own friendly competition with them. And then over the years, kind of using each other's assets and skill sets to bring it to the table, because our minds, we can't know everything. That's why we hire experts and allow someone to kind of, this is your area of expertise. You just run with it, because there's so many things to learn. But it's kind of that natural progression is, sure, we help with promo. We can do that top of funnel stuff, but sounds like you need a little bit of help with a little bit of everything else. So that comes with more clarity and direction, and that coaching service helps with that.
When we were still in Los Angeles, it worked really well that way. But as we moved 10 years ago, we moved to Sedona, Arizona, and we made a conscious decision, because if we're dealing with the stuff, that tends to fall in my lap. That's not Sharyn has to deal with that. And
Not till it comes to collection.
it isn't the fun part of our business. The fun part of our business is coaching. So when we stopped promoting it, we made a decision because there were two messages. Yes, we can put your logo on stuff and we can be your business coaches. It's like trying to promote both at a mixer doesn't work well.
Mhm.
We didn't promote it at all when we were in Arizona. Oddly enough, we still got clients because we'd sell it to our coaching clients and they would tell friends. And then we moved to Maryland, and the same thing. We still don't talk about it, but other than we've still got half a dozen to a dozen clients for promo stuff that they just hear about it. Or when we give them something, oh, where did you get that? Well, we can get it for you.
It kind of naturally progresses into that conversation. And I think for most of us, as much as we try to either niche down or specialize in a specific offer, it always seems like we're kind of getting roped into other projects for these businesses, because it's like, one, we want to help and we want to be the person to help you. But how do we find that balance between this isn't something we want to invest time in, and not that we don't want to help you, but it just isn't a good use of our time? How do we find that balance when trying to work with clients?
Easy.
Well, that's a different.
Yeah.
I mean, no is a complete sentence. You
Yeah.
can certainly just say no, or that's
Or-
not my expertise, refer someone else. It isn't so much that you have to stay in a lane. It's that when you're working on your messaging, you have to know who the ideal audience is for that message, right? Our client base and our referral partners is quite broad when you're looking at demographic, but we can't craft one message that's going to speak to all of them. No one's going to feel like we're talking to them. So we have to think, okay, for this particular post or blog or ad or promo piece, whatever it is, who's our ideal recipient of that message? And what's that message to attract that? That's where the niche is. It isn't that we necessarily have to niche the whole business. It's that the messaging has to be niche.
Absolutely.
The other part is you just charge a crap load for what you want. We do graphics for some of our clients. I've designed logos for years and years. And when somebody asks me, oh, I'm starting a business, can you do my logo? Well, if you're a coaching client, sure. Well, I can't afford that yet. Okay. You choose to not afford it. How much for a logo? $1,000. Sure. What about if I do it on an hourly basis? $250 an hour, 4-hour minimum.
$1,000?
No, look, during COVID, we had an epiphany like most other small business owners. That year, our motto became, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And we're all really uncomfortable that first year.
Were you using this to do a lot of our clients and they didn't care? Heck, Skype is now going to disappear in a few months.
What
So-
a huge missed opportunity.
Right?
What did
And there is a-
Microsoft pay? $8 billion for that app? I can't believe it. Wow, they're just throwing it away.
That's right.
And now Zoom has become the Verb. So
It was Skype,
yeah.
right?
And-
It took over really quickly during COVID.
And after that, our motto, and it still is, if it doesn't bring us joy, we don't do it. Sharon said it earlier. No is a complete thing. You guys feel like do it? No.
Just not a fit. And
Yeah.
it's important. That's something you realize further into business, where you no longer are really chasing every lead that you could possibly get. And unfortunately, making not the ideal fit always. It's better to say no, and you learn that down the road.
And we get to do things we want to do. In April, we are not saying spending. We're investing 2 days in Washington, D.C. We're acting as lobbyist group for the promotional product industry. We're joining a whole bunch of others in that business, and we're going to go talk to Congress. We're not going to get business out of that, but it brings me joy to support an industry that has done really well by me. It set us up to be in business, and it supported our business for literally decades. So giving back is important. We now get to do that. It brings us joy. And Sharon's mom is in DC, so we'll do her while we're there. It's awesome. It works together so well when you're not just hunting for business, but you understand there are certain parts. Every one of us that are entrepreneurs, we started our great business to serve our life and have the life we want. And for so many of us, the business takes over and all of a sudden don't have the life you want. If we want a couple of days to go be in DC to meet with politicians, which brings us joy, they're putting us in the offices. Yay.
I never thought I'd hear that full sentence altogether.
Look, a lot of people say they're not interested in politics. That's fine. Politics is interested in you. Whether you're involved one way or another is part of your life. So you might as well.
It's the road you drive on, right? That's part of government. They didn't magically appear there. They didn't work.
I just miss the days where the politicians didn't have to be incentivized in order to pass legislation to help the people that elected them. But this is the world we're in, and sometimes the wheels need to be greased.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a story without getting political at all. I was having a conversation in Los Angeles with an elected official, and it was at a Chamber of Commerce event. And I happened to notice, I said, you just got elected by 30 points. You ought to take that out for a spin. And what's your agenda? And we talked about a couple of things. And 3 weeks later, I noticed he submitted a bill for it. And I was like, way to go. Now, I didn't particularly think it was a great bill, but damn, way to step up and take some action.
That's something that holds us back, whether politicians or business owners, whether it's the fear of change, just taking action can be a struggle. I feel like we're always thinking maybe just one more YouTube video, one more course, or one more book I need to read. That will give me that aha moment. What inspires us to truly take action? How do you inspire your clients or even for yourself?
Wow, you're right.
Part of it is that, yes, there's a lot to read or listen to, but if you're not taking action on what you've read and now you're just reading or listening to the next thing, it's a missed opportunity. So before you read or listen to the next thing, what's the one thing I can implement? And if there's nothing, if it turned out to be a waste of time, you were looking for that golden nugget, you didn't find it, okay, that's fine. But at least take the moment to evaluate, is there something here I can implement? Did I learn something I can implement rather than just naturally jumping to the next thing? The next YouTube video got popped up on my screen. I'm just going to listen to that next. But wait, take a breath. Is there something I can implement from what I just listened to?
Tell you what, Chris, before you start your business, here are our 8 business books. Go read these, and then you'll be ready.
The only 8 books you need.
Yeah. Now, the odd thing, at the end of every chapter in every book, there is a step.
Thank you for that. Some people are lost at the end of the chapter. Like, what do I do next?
Well, okay.
Read the next chapter, right?
Yeah. Your audience is entrepreneurs, business people, right? Let's just, hey, folks, roughly 1% of the U.S. population are authors. 1% have written a book or less. Most of those, if they're nonfiction books, are business owners. So your audience, by and large, there are a whole lot of authors. We all use our book. If we were taught properly, holding his book right over his heart, where people can easily see one of the title, we were all taught how to use our books as promotional pieces for our business. So inside the book, there's dozens of ways where they can figure out how to connect with us. So if you're writing books and you're not making it a tool on how to get connected with you, learn from my lesson, because we had a coach and I said, why does your book have all of these sales pages inside it? And he looked at one of ours and he goes, this is a really nice book. How many of these do you think are out there? And a couple thousand, probably. And he looked at me again, looked at the book, and Penny, there's no way for somebody to find you in that book. And he hands it to me and walks away. And I'm like, okay, I learned that lesson. So we changed that book, and every other book, there are sales pages. If you want more help, reach out to us. And almost every day, somebody is sending us an email. Hey, I'm reading this particular book I saw in this chapter. And we answer, send it back.
And I would prefer that people make just any sort of attempt to really just put themselves out there. It almost feels like we're trying to market ourselves and get out there while also being hidden. And a lot of people are kind of afraid of either the spotlight, or they're like, I can't be too successful. What's kind of holding a lot of people back? Have you ever experienced that before or heard from others?
Usually it's on social. They don't want to fill out their profile because they're going to get spam calls. You absolutely accurate. But you also might get folks that are clients, customers, referral partners that also want to reach out to you. How badly do you want those potential clients, customers, referral partners? Is it worth it to you to put up with the robocalls, the telemarketers? We think it's worth it, right? It's a number we don't recognize, or it tells me it's potential spam. Send a voicemail. If it's a real person, they'll leave you a voicemail. You can call them back. If not, you either just save time or you hit delete the voicemail.
Sharyn has done it 2 times, and she mentally had the conversation. We're talking to Chris Troka. We're not going to talk. Blink. No,
It's just like not the right opportunity, not the right time. But that's okay. We need to put ourselves out there in order for other people to be able to see us, and even including calls to action, some sort of contact information within your books. It's going to be important. After 30 Thanksgivings in business, tell me more. What's been the most effective marketing strategy for you? You started with promo items, but you also deal with referrals, relationships, maybe past clients. Are you guys running ads? Are you doing blogs? What's your marketing strategy that's been most effective?
Talking to people, whether that's meeting at chambers and doing one-to-one or being on webinars. We collaborate with SCORE across the country and do webinars for SCORE. That's probably been the best. I don't mean SCORE specifically. I just mean being out there and meeting people, whether it's virtual or in person.
When we were in Arizona, we would be in LA almost every month speaking to various chambers. So we had that drive ahead of us. Interesting. Now we can just hop on a Zoom call and we don't have to get on a flight.
It makes things a little bit easier, and it really takes down on the travel time too.
Yeah. And our cats are happy.
On the other side of it, I don't know many people that have said, oh yeah, I can be just as effective closing on a Zoom, group to Zoom as I am if I'm in the room. That has not translated. And by the way, if it's working for you that really well, I'd love to talk to you. If you can get on a Zoom with 200 people and close as many as you did, if you were in the room with 200 people, you're way better than me. Glad to admit it, but I also want to learn what you're doing because I haven't seen it yet. And all of the people that we have followed forever, they still want to be in a room.
There's just some things in business that it's either going to be hard to shake, either just the normal commonplace practices that we've had. Either there will be a shift or there just won't be. We'll go back to more in-person, face-to-face style meetings. Of course, video is great, but again, when you're closing higher ticket deals, sometimes you need that one-on-one face-to-face meeting with the person. There's nothing that can replace that.
And we know that. We realize that we embrace it for better or for worse. It's okay. Since we still have a quote fan base in LA 10 years after we moved, in Arizona, and now we're building it again in Maryland. Yeah, it's real fun. Build your in-person base again.
For the third time. I know it's not fun trying to, it feels like you're starting fresh and to start over again. That's not always fun, but you have 2 great locations that are already can trust you. So I feel like you could at least pick up a few clients there while you're focusing on your home base.
Oh yeah. And we have clients throughout the English speaking world. It's not like they're only in those 3 areas.
Yeah.
It's just that those are the 3 areas where they know us flesh to flesh.
But when we moved to Maryland, like, okay, what do we do? Well, which chamber of commerce is the best in the area? Let's join it, start over.
We actually joined a few and then dropped the ones that weren't as effective.
There are several in our area that are dead and don't know it.
And it's okay to cut your losses too. You just realize, hey, this isn't a good return on investment here.
As long as you are being consistent in the testing. So for us, when we join a chamber of commerce, we put all their events on our calendar. We actually attend those events. We know too many people that join an organization, chamber, Rotary, or whatever, and then they never attend anywhere. They don't go to any of the events. And at the end of the year, there was because you weren't. So as long as you're being consistent and going and attending and meeting, then by all means, before you renew, reevaluate, right? But if you're just reevaluating just based on the dues and you never attended, that's just not a good evaluation. Don't renew if you're never going to go. Absolutely. But then we would have said, don't pay the dues in the first place if you were never going to go.
Look, we know the process. And when we moved to Maryland, like we're joining a chamber, what goals do we have? And I set a goal. All right, I'm going to be on that board in less than 4 years. Sure, why not? Go into a brand new area and be on the board of directors. And I'm looking at their board. Okay, yeah, 4 years. Good luck to me. Year and a half later, I was on the board. The same process that happened in Los Angeles, the same process that happened in Arizona. The question we see all the time, if you were dropped here, how would you start over? Okay, well,
faster the next time because you already have experience, so you could do it faster. But also because you have experience, they want you sooner.
Yes.
Your experience may have been in LA and Arizona, but Maryland still wants an experience of being on a board. Being on the board is the same no matter where you are. When I started my career in HR and office management, I was in entertainment and I was recruited by a financial services firm. And I said to the guys that were the partners that were interviewing me, I'd love to work with you, but I don't know anything about financial services. I come from entertainment. And their response was, HR laws are the same. It's the same state, right? The office machines are the same. I don't care if you know financial services. We know financial services, but we don't know HR law, and we can't seem to get our copier to work properly.
And we want to swear at our employees, and for some reason, they don't like it.
Who would have thought?
It's the same concept, right? It's a different tone, but the systems are the same. The process is the same. People still want people with experience. So it does speed up the process.
Absolutely. Now, Sharyn and Hank, where can people find you online and get connected with you?
Pretty much anywhere they want. If they can't find us, they're not trying.
We're on Yuloff Creative everywhere. Tell you what, let's do this. Since I held up a couple of books, we're going to give you, anyone that's watching, we're going to give you any one of our books. Wait, I don't know what books they have. Yeah. Go to Amazon, type our name in, pick a book, let us know. But here's the deal. If you say you're in business with a partner, you want partners in everything, your guide is running a successful business without ruining your life. We're happy to send you the PDF of this. If you're an overwhelmed entrepreneur and want both of them, you're going to have to go back. You have to watch another episode of Brainwork, and you have to say, look, I was listening to Chris and he interviewed this person and it was all, and you have to basically give us a book report on another episode. Yeah, a pod report. He had 8 books. If you give as many episodes of Brainwork that you want, and you tell us, what Chris was talking about,
But you're golden nugget.
yeah, we will send you a book for each one that you do. So if you
Wow.
go watch 8 podcasts, and we'll send you 8 books. It's really that simple.
What an offer. That's incredible, you guys.
So yeah, thank you. So just send an email, info@yuloffcreative.com.
So for those of you that don't want a sales pitch getting coaching, if you want a half hour with us, the questions we always hear is, what do I do first? And then how do I get there faster? So our calendar is howtogetttherefaster.com. It'll ask you a couple of questions. So we're ready and we give you a half hour for free. Here's our entire sales pitch. This is what you're going to hear. If you want to talk about coaching, you should go to
Marketing.
companymarketingplan.com. I'm really trying to sell our coaching, you can tell. And they can go there, look at our coaching program. If they like it, they come back. We give them 29 minutes, 50 seconds of how can we best help you today? That's always the first question. How can we best help you today?
Nice. Excellent. And we'll have those links available down in the description and the show notes so everyone can get connected and take advantage of these incredible offers. And I love how you reworked it back into helping the podcast host to help you, which is super cool. That is a very creative way to bring and build relationships.
Look, you have us on your show. The least we can do is help people get to know who you are and be more involved. And I think that it's not like we're not having them do something they're not going to get something out of. they're going to hear 7 other entrepreneurs and they might get, oh my gosh, something that will help them. Oh, gee, Hank, that's horrible of you to try and make me be better in business. How dare you? Why don't you just send me all of your books without it? With a complete sentence.
It is. I love that. It's beautiful. Very creative, and it builds relationships and helps a lot of people out. And I think, again, just the golden nuggets, the aha moments that they could get just from listening to a single episode, I think could be very helpful. And then they get an even more valuable book in the end, catered exactly to them.
And then I'm sure your other guests probably offer free things too. Oh my God.
I think competition is.
Watch Brainwork, and you get all this free stuff. You can unsubscribe from all of the other emails that you get every day. All you have to do is tune into Chris. That's all I have to do.
Just one spot for it all. It's perfect.
We just made it simple.
I love it. Now, Hank and Sharyn, what is one thing that you would either tell your younger self about business or marketing, or advice to other entrepreneurs? What one thing should they take away and run with?
Let's see. Consistency is a good one. Look, we just helped you get consistent to listen to Brainwork rewarding you. All right. Be consistent in what you're doing. Being consistent in updating your website so that the search engines realize that your website is there to generate revenue. Be consistent. Post on your social media every day. Not all of the platforms, just the ones where your audience is hanging out.
And where they're actually looking for you.
Yeah.
I mean, they may be hanging out, but if they're hanging out to look for recipes and you're not a restaurant, a chef, or nutritionist, then that's not the right platform, right? So the platform is actually looking for you. And then be consistent with your calendaring as well. We all create to-do lists, but those lists get really long. And then at the end of the day, I didn't get anything done on my to-do list. Well, did you put that on your calendar to actually get it done? Because if you put it all on your calendar, you're going to realize that's way too many things to do in one day.
And then it could be more realistic.
Every Monday, we have a mastermind call, mastermind Zoom for any clients that want to come on. Here it is. If you have questions, in addition to your private coaching, look, we are here. It's our office hours. In order you come in the room, we handle whatever it is you're dealing with that day. The reason we do that is because we always wish when we went into coaching programs, there was something like that. So we created the coaching program that we wish we had always found. If we had a coach that was doing that, it would be in our calendar every Monday, be on the call. Whether we had an issue or not, at least we're listening. We have some clients that we have to remind them, hey, you know what? We're not taking roll, but we haven't seen you.
Didn't we?
Come on the call. And every client, no matter whether they're on the call or not, every client every month gets a reminder to be on the call.
They actually get it every week.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They get an email
Every week.
and they get it in the mail as well,
That's right.
because we use direct mail. So be consistent. And we show that we're consistent to our clients and that, look, you get this all the time. Yeah, it's really important. So
Build those habits.
listen to Chris all the time.
Build those habits.
Put it in your calendar. Well, hey, is Brainwork, do they have a new episode? Brainwork. Oh, there it is. Put it in your calendar.
It's so important to follow up and to follow through with everything. That consistency is really important. It doesn't even have to be something crazy. Posting once a day is fantastic, but if your 100% is only posting twice a week, stick with twice a week. It's small changes can definitely grow into bigger effects as you kind of grow on. But I appreciate all the tips and tricks and the knowledge that you've shared with us. So excited for the future in 2025 for you guys. Thank you again for coming on and sharing everything with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it.